Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree of Phantom 2040. It's one of the shows I wrote for that I don't talk about much, but I liked it. I enjoyed writing for it. But it's also Mark Zicree, author of The Twilight Zone Companion, and this is your Twilight Zone Minute. And today we are going to talk about the first season episode, The Big Tall Wish by Rod Serling. And this is a spectacular episode, one of the greats. And remarkably, it has a predominantly black cast in the leads. And that was very unusual for 1959, 1960. And Rod basically told the press, he said, you know, there's an enormous talent pool of black actors, and it's not utilized nearly as much as it should be. And sadly, this is really only one of the very few Twilight Zone episodes that has a black lead. There's also I Am the Night, Color Me Black in season 5, but other than that, it's, you know, that's more or less it. But the Big Tall Wish is spectacular. One of the things I love about it is not about racial issues. It's not about prejudice or about slavery. It's about a boxer who befriends a little boy, and the boxer's on the downhill slide of his career. And the question is, can he accept a miracle? Can he believe in magic? And it's just incredible. And Ivan Dixon stars as the fighter. Now, Rod Serling, of course, had fought in the Golden Gloves in the paratroops during World War II. Additionally, he had a great affection for boxers, and one of his great successes in the 50s was his Playhouse 90 episode Requiem for a Heavyweight, which won him an Emmy, and then it was made into a movie starring Mickey Rooney and Jackie Gleason and Anthony Quinn. I prefer the TV version, but he really loved fighters, and he really loved the gentleness in them when they weren't in the ring. He said a lot of them were very gentle spirits, and certainly the character that Ivan Dixon plays is like that. He's very battered and very tired, and Ivan Dixon a few years later would come to prominence as a lead in Hogan's Heroes. But he's just extraordinary in this role, and equally extraordinary is Stephen Perry, who plays the little boy that Ivan Dixon becomes, you know, a friend of. And Stephen Perry is just amazing. There are only a handful of great kid actors from that period. Billy Mumy, of course, was one of them, and Stephen Perry was another. He is also in A Raisin in the Sun, the Sidney Poitier movie, but he's just incredible in this. And when I was writing the Twilight Zone Companion, I went searching for him, but with a name like Stephen Perry, and by that time he wasn't in movies anymore, it was impossible to find him. The name was far too common. Now, I just found out recently that he owns a Creole restaurant here in LA. So I'm going to go check it out sometime soon and see if I can get him to do a Twilight Zone commentary with me. So keep an eye out for that. And go to twilightzonecommentary.com, because I'm going to be doing over 100 full episode commentaries on the Twilight Zone, and you can be part of that. You can sit next to me on the sofa. You can hear everything I know about the Twilight Zone that I've never talked about, and I'll have a lot of guest stars and friends sitting in on these commentaries with me. And in fact, there's even a way for you to do the commentary with me. So if you go to twilightzonecommentary.com, you can find out about that, which is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me, if you're part of it. And but this episode is incredibly beautiful. It's directed by Ron Winston, who directed a number of really, really strong episodes. And the challenge here was that obviously Twilight Zone couldn't afford, you know, an arena full of of an audience. They couldn't fill up an audience for the fight scenes, and so they had to kind of go in close and suggest the larger scale with the smaller scale, and they do that extremely effectively. And it's just a jewel. There's no two ways about it, and it's a shame they didn't do more episodes with more diverse cast. There's the encounter with a terrific George Takei. There's a few others here and there scattered about, but this is one of the terrific episodes, and it could equally have had a white cast and still played the same, but having a black cast makes it just really very, very important and very special and very beautiful. And again, it's great because almost every film or TV show of that period with a black lead was about race. And that's not to say that wasn't important. It was. I mean, Martin Luther King was leading marches during this period. This is right in the middle of the civil rights movement, but I think a great way to really show equality is to have stories that don't turn on the race of the character. They don't ignore the ethnicity, they don't ignore who the people are, but they also are presenting them as fully rounded human beings. And this is a lovely and incredibly touching episode. So that's it for now. Go to twilightzonecommentaries.com. If you've never seen this episode, definitely check it out. And if you're in the mood for some good Creole cooking, Stephen Perry's restaurant's on Pico here in LA. I'm gonna go there and see if I can talk to Mr. Perry, and maybe you'll see me there and you may see him there too. That's it. Talk to you soon, guys.